Welcome to the Ableton and Music Habits Podcast, episode 42.
Welcome to the Ableton and Music Habits Podcast, actionable music production tips to take your music to the next level. And now, your host, Jason Timothy.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast. And this podcast is going to be about making time for music when you are busy. I get it. Another year passes, another birthday goes by, another acquaintance inspires you with their art. And several times a year, we get that familiar nudge that we've been slacking on our music making. We have plenty of excuses, but one that tends to work best for us is the not having enough time excuse. Now, this is a subject I've discussed before, and I'm certain I will discuss it again because creative people need to be reminded often that it's time to get this figured out. If you've been sitting on unfinished ideas, convincing yourself that at some point you're going to get to it, consider that day to be today or never. If you continue to say not today, you're building an extremely strong habit that will be hard to break. The fact is that you are going to have to take action when the timing seems all kinds of wrong. This is the only way you will get started. So with that, let's talk about how we are going to make this time. So there's two different scenarios to this not having time that we run into. Number one is you actually have plenty of time, but you're wasting it doing dumb stuff and then lying to yourself. The second scenario, you legitimately are a busy person with responsibilities and can't seem to clear out time for this thing you say you love to do. If you're in category one, you already know what you've got to do. This podcast is for those who relate more to scenario two. So how do you find time when it seems you have none? Well, the first thing I would have you consider is that you ultimately choose what you do with your time. To some degree, you choose to let someone else control your time in exchange for money. And I get that. We all have to take care of the essentials and some extra things that give us joy. But the point I'm trying to get across is that if you have no time to do what you love, it is no one's responsibility to fix this than you. You can either live a life fulfilling dreams or fulfilling someone else's. And no, I'm not telling you to quit your job. I only want to demonstrate that your job is your choice. Okay, so let's get practical with how we currently spend our time. So for this, you're going to need a notebook and pen, preferably. You can do this on your computer, but probably better to do this with a pen and paper. So first thing we're going to do here is let's start with how much time we currently have to work with in an average day. So let's start with sleep. What time do you usually go to bed and what time do you wake up in the morning? How many hours does that take out of your 24-hour day? Next, write down how many hours you spend getting ready for work, going to work, working, and then coming home. So from the time you get up to the time you return home, add up those hours and subtract this from 24. This is how much time you're going to have to work with on an average day. So this is where things start to get interesting. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you're going to log each activity you do throughout your day. You want to be as specific as possible during non-work hours. During your work hours, you can simply say that you work. So you want to log your hygiene, meals, bathroom breaks, specific internet tasks, TV, checking your phone, anything that you do, you're going to want to write down. So every time you change a task or get interrupted, write down the time it happened. This will make you much more aware of how you're actually spending your time and show you exactly how much time you spend on each task. From here, you can itemize total time for all the things you do. Becoming aware of these details will start to show you where you can either spend less time on certain things or find ways to be more efficient on things to free up your time. So once you've gone through this practice and you're armed with the knowledge, it's time to think of something you've been wanting to accomplish. So when would you like this thing completed? And how much time do you think you will need? You'll want to break this project down to a number of tasks that can be finished in 30 to 60 minutes. The more detailed you get, the more accurate your estimate will be. Once we have a timeline and amount of time required, we can figure out how much daily time we need to carve out. So let's say you want to finish the song in the next 2 weeks, and you believe that it'll take you 20 hours. So this breaks down to 10 hours per week if you take weekends off. That would be 2 hours a day, Monday through Friday for 2 weeks. So is this possible to work into your schedule now that you're aware of your least productive activities? Are you able to cut some of those back in order to fit this in? If you find you can only shuffle around 1 extra hour Monday through Friday, maybe you need your timeline to move from 2 weeks to 4 weeks. I'm certain that if this is important enough, you'll be able to achieve more than you think, even though you have a busy life. I'm currently doing this process myself, as every time I do it, I always tend to become more efficient, and I find time to finish creative projects that are important to me. So let me know if you plan to try this out. I'd love to be updated on your progress. Till then, happy music making. So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do, please subscribe to the podcast and share this with your fellow music producers. You can also follow me on Instagram by searching Ableton Music Habits or Ableton_music_habits, where I post short music production quotes to keep you in the game. If you'd like to connect with me more directly, you can fill out a quick form at musicsoftwaretraining.com/application. Take care and see you guys next time.